Okay, so I've moved out to 300 yards. Hopefully the wind isn't making too much of a problem with the camera. Now what I'm going to do is fire my ladder test, and I'm using the quite popular method of using a Sharpie, or coloured Sharpie, permanent marker on the tips rather than the bearing surface of the bullet, so that as they pass through the paper target, the coloured Sharpie comes off and you can find out which shot was which, and then you can use a pen and mark it off. So I'm going to do the ladder test now. I'm going to fire a shot, then I'm going to wait 2 minutes, fire the next shot, wait 2 minutes again, and a third shot, and each one is a different colour. I have red, black and green. Then I'm going to go down, mark them off, and then go up to the next three charges and then fire those off, and then keep going until I've done all 15, and then we'll talk about the results. Right now the wind's playing up, and it's quite a while before you get a lull in the wind so you can take a shot, so it would be quite boring waiting for me to take the shot. It would just be me in position for a few minutes, so we'll go straight to the results next. So here's my results of the ladder test, and as you can see it looks a little bit of a mess. Once I'd gone from 100 yards and I've done my sighting, I estimated the drop for 300 yards for 33.3 grains, and I got the drop pretty much on target. As you can see on the far left here, this was the first shot, 33.3 grains. It was a little bit left, so what I had to do is dial right. I didn't touch the elevation, just the windage, just so that I could bring these shots back onto target. Now what I should have done, first mistake, is I should have had it so that I started a little bit low on here, so as the velocity increases the shots come up to the center of the target and above. But I came across a problem. Up to 36 grains I was still on target, and I knew by the amount of elevation that I was getting that I was going to be over the top of the target pretty shortly. So what I had to do is make a decision and do something I didn't want to do, which was to change my point of aim from the center of the target to the lower left here. So I then had to measure all the shots and then tally them up, which was a little bit of a problem, but not to worry. So anything that's highlighted here was actually aimed bottom left. So had I taken the 36 grain shot by aiming on the lower left target, it would have landed right here, exactly here. So 36, 36.3 and 36.6 grains. As you can see, is quite a nice little cluster, relevant of windage. The elevation is quite small. That was my high node, which was the node highest near the max charge. I did have a low node, 33.9, 34.2 and 34.5 was the low node. That was 1.4 inches of elevation on there. But what's interesting to note is before I even got to the target, out of the 15 shots, the only one that I called as slightly off was this, 36.3 grains. I actually aimed at the center of the target, down here, sorry, on the lower left. But as the shot broke off, I noticed the crosshairs were a little low and a little left. So if I do compensate for that, okay, which is a little cheating maybe, but if I compensate for that, it will mean I would bring the shot up and to the right slightly, which will bring it even closer to these two. So that seems to be the load that shows the most promise. So I'm probably going to load up the center of that charge range from 36 to 36.6 grains, which would be this one, 36.3. And then I'm going to play with the seating depth. All these shots were with the 87 grain VMAX, as I probably mentioned before, and it's 40 thousandths of an inch off the land. So I'm probably going to go load up a few more of 40 thou just to test them to see how accurate they are, and then load them perhaps 5 thou off, and then just kissing the lands, just to see if I can improve on accuracy or if I can get anything better by playing with the seating depth, or perhaps 40 thou is perfectly fine. So that's the results. It's a little bit of a mess. I had to do a few calculations there to get all the data that I needed. But what I'll do next is I'll plot it all on a spreadsheet and show you the graph that I made.